Hello, everybody. It's great to see you out there. My name is Tom. I'm a New York Rangers fan, and today I want to tell you the story of how a free agent signing by Glen Sather in the summer of 2001 continues to shape the roster of the team today. When Zdeno Ciger signed with the New York Rangers on July 17, 2001, he had been out of the NHL since a 39-point campaign in the 1995-96 season for the Edmonton Oilers. At the time of the signing, New York Post writer Larry Brooks criticized the move, saying he would block the young up-and-coming forwards of the system, and it didn't address the needs of the team for more size, grit, toughness, and a more north-south style of play. Larry's words, not mine. Ciger would go on to score 6 goals and 7 assists in 29 games that season. Then on December 12, 2001, with the Rangers sitting at 17-13, 2-2, and in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, Ciger was dealt 1-for-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for Matt Barnaby. Not only were the Rangers the most penalized team in the league at that point of the season, they were 29th out of 30 teams in penalty kill percentage, making the acquisition of Barnaby a little curious. Barnaby would go on to end the season at 7th in the league in penalty minutes taken. Barnaby was coming off a few down seasons playing for Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay after peaking at 43 points for the Buffalo Sabres in the 1996-97 season. Fortunately for the Rangers, he had a bit of an offensive renaissance while playing out the duration of his 3-year contract, winding up with 34 goals and 55 assists for a total of 89 points in 196 games. Unfortunately for the Rangers, Barnaby's renewed offensive production did not translate to team success, and they would miss the playoffs in each of the 3 years he was on the roster. Then, during the fire sale at the 2004 trade deadline, which saw the departures of Alexei Kovalev, Martin Ruchinski, Vladimir Malakhov, Chris Simon, Peter Nedved, and Brian Leetch, all in the course of a week, the Rangers also dealt Matt Barnaby to the Colorado Avalanche along with a 2004 third-round pick in exchange for a 2004 second-round pick, Chris McAllister, and the rights to David Liffiton. Chris McAllister was a 28-year-old forward on an expiring contract who would play just 12 games for the Rangers that season and record only a single point. His NHL career ended along with the 2004 NHL season. David Liffiton signed his entry-level contract with the Rangers after the 2004 NHL season ended and made his debut the following year. Unfortunately, he didn't stick, and he left the organization at the end of that contract, playing in only 3 games and without recording a single point. The interesting piece of the deal is the second-round pick the Rangers got back, which wound up being 37th overall. Early on in the draft, the Rangers opted for a high-ceiling player by trading up to select Lauri Korpikoski. Then for the rest of the draft, they traded down, just choosing to amass as many picks as possible. The Rangers traded away the 37th overall pick to the Florida Panthers in exchange for 50th overall and 73rd overall. They used the 73rd overall pick to select Zdeno Bachenski, who never played at the NHL level. The 50th overall pick was sent to the Phoenix Coyotes in exchange for the 60th overall and the 80th overall pick. The 80th overall pick was used on Billy Ryan, who never played at the NHL level for the Rangers. The 60th overall pick, however, did play at the NHL level for the Rangers after they used it on a 6'2" left-handed forward from Alaska named Brandon Dubinsky. Dubinsky would find success with the Rangers after making his debut in the 2006 season. Over the course of the next 6 years, he would play in 393 games, putting in 81 goals and 132 assists, including leading the team in scoring in the 2010-2011 campaign with 54 points in 77 games. He was also a key playoff contributor, putting in 17 points in 31 games over the course of 4 postseasons. On July 23rd of 2012, though, with the team coming off a brutal loss in the conference finals to the New Jersey Devils, the Rangers made a deal to improve their top-end scoring, sending Dubinsky, along with Artem Anisimov, Tim Erickson, and a 2013 first-round pick, to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Rick Nash, Stephen Delisle, and a 2013 third-round pick. With the 2013 third-round pick, which wound up being 75th overall, the Rangers selected our first current player on the roster, Pavel Buchnevich. Since making his Major League debut in 2016, Buchnevich has already put up 59 goals and 88 assists for 147 points in 247 games, including 2 40-point seasons. He will be an RFA at the end of this year, coming off a 2-year contract at $3.25 million per. Rick Nash's tenure as a New York Ranger was quite controversial among fans. although he was able to score 145 goals and 107 assists for a total of 252 points in 375 games, his $8 million cap hit, along with the dramatic changes in deployment, made fans wonder if he was really worth what we gave up for him. His playoff production was streaky. He scored 38 points in 73 games over the course of 5 years, but all in all, he never really recaptured that ability he showed in Columbus, where he could just take over a play at a moment's notice and bull his way to the net. Nash's Rangers career ended on February 25th, 2018, when the Rangers, who were destined for dead last in the division, dealt him to Boston in exchange for Ryan Spooner, Matt Bolesky, who left as a free agent after just 5 games in a Rangers uniform, a 2018 first-round pick, a 2019 seventh-round pick, and current Rangers defenseman Ryan Lindgren. In his first full season as a Ranger, Lindgren tallied 14 points in 60 games while establishing himself as one of the Blue Liners' heavy hitters. Although his offensive ceiling isn't the highest, he proved to be a valuable supporting character for a more offensively oriented defenseman like Adam Fox or Tony DeAngelo. Both draft picks that returned to the Rangers as part of the Nash deal are also still part of the Rangers organization. The 2019 seventh-round pick was flipped to the 2018 draft for Carolina's 2018 seventh-round pick, which the Rangers used to select Riley Hughes. Hughes is currently unsigned and playing hockey for the Northeastern University Huskies, where he put up 4 points in 34 games as a freshman. The first-round pick was used to move up at the 2018 draft. They sent it to Ottawa along with a Rangers second-round pick in exchange for 22nd overall, which they used to select defenseman K'Andre Miller. He just signed his ELC in March for the 2021 season. The main short-term return on the Nash deal was supposed to be Ryan Spooner. He had already scored a 40-point season with Boston and figured to be a secondary contributor for the Rangers in 2018-19 after scoring 16 points in just 20 games after the trade was made. That didn't happen though, and Spooner struggled out of the gate, scoring only 2 points in 16 games to start the season. Then on November 18th, he was traded to Edmonton 1-for-1 in a change of scenery deal for the also struggling Ryan Strome. At the time of the deal, Strome had only scored 2 points in 18 games, despite showing strong potential with a 50-point campaign for the Islanders in the 2014-2015 season. He's regained his scoring touch, though, scoring 92 points in 133 games since getting dealt to the Rangers. He's an impending restricted free agent, and his potential contract is one of the hot-button issues among fans right now due to his poor underlying numbers and his alleged chemistry with Hart Trophy candidate Artemi Panarin. Now, that brings us back to the original Nash deal in 2012. The final piece of that trade, Steven Delisle, never played a game at the NHL level for the Rangers, but he was a component of another key trade that they made. After the Rangers gave up scoring depth in the 2012 offseason in order to bring Nash in, they then brought scoring depth back at the trade deadline, trading Delisle to the Blue Jackets along with Marian Gaborik and Blake Parlett in exchange for Derek Brassard, Derek Dorsett, John Moore, and a 2014 sixth-round pick. The 2014 sixth-round pick was sent to Minnesota along with Ben Ferrero in exchange for Justin Falk, who scored just 2 points in 21 games for the Rangers. Derek Dorsett was a consistent fourth liner during the Rangers' Cup final run in 2014 before getting dealt to Vancouver in exchange for a 2014 third-round pick, which the Rangers used on Keegan Iverson, who left the organization as an unsigned free agent. Derek Brassard was a key member of the Rangers for 4 years, tallying 174 regular season points in 254 games and 44 postseason points in 59 postseason games. However, in the 2018 offseason, the Rangers dealt 28-year-old fan favorite Derek Brassard and a 2018 7th-round draft pick to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for a 2018 2nd-round draft pick and a 23-year-old center named Mika Zibanejad. There really just isn't enough that can be said about Zib's growth since coming to the Rangers. He's already put up 233 points in just 267 games. He's still only 26 years old. He's got 2 years left on his deal at $5.35 million per, and at the time the 2019-20 season was suspended, he led the league in goals per game at .72. The second-round pick in the Zibanejad deal was used at the 2017 deadline for the Rangers' playoff push, when they dealt it along with a 2017 third-round pick to Detroit in exchange for Brendan Smith. Smith brought a harder edge to the blue line the Rangers thought they would need in the playoffs, and he added 20 penalty minutes in 12 games while only contributing 4 assists to the score sheet. That offseason, the Rangers signed Smith to a 4-year deal at $4.35 million per, which was bad before the ink dried, and his versatility aside has only gotten worse. The final piece of the Gaborik to Columbus deal was defenseman John Moore. After 125 NHL games for the Rangers, putting in 6 goals and 21 assists along the way, Moore was dealt, along with Anthony Duclair, a 2015 second-round pick and a 2016 first-round pick, to the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for Keith Yandle, Chris Summers, and a 2016 fourth-round pick, which the Rangers used on another defenseman currently in their system, Tarmo Reunanen. The Keith Yandle trade wound up falling flat for the Rangers because he was poorly utilized by coach Alain Vigneault, but he still managed to put up 7 goals and 51 assists in 103 games for the Rangers. In the 2016 offseason, the Rangers opted not to re-sign Yandle, instead sending him to Florida a few days before free agency started in order to recoup some value on him. What they got back was a 2016 6th-round draft pick and a 2017 4th-round draft pick, which they then flipped to San Jose at the 2017 draft in order to move down to 123rd overall and 174th overall, making the net total from the Yandle to Florida trade at 174th overall in 2016, a 2020 Mike Richter Award finalist for UMass Lowell, Tyler Wall, at 123rd overall in 2017, defenseman Brandon Crawley, and at 174th overall in 2017, 2020 Hobey Baker Award top 10 finalist, Morgan Barron. So there you have it, spanning 19 years, 18 trades, 10 draft picks, the story of how a free agent signing by Glen Sather in the 2001 offseason continues to show its fingerprints on the current New York Rangers roster. Now, obviously, the weakest link in this chain is the Steven Delisle connection between the Nash to New York trade and the Gaborik to Columbus trade. However, due to the same 2 teams being involved, how close together they happened time-wise. One was the 2012 offseason, one was the 2013 trade deadline, and how similar the 2 trades are. You had a superstar going both ways, you had supporting scorers going both ways, you had draft picks and just a smattering of minor leaguers. You can really look at the 2 deals as one big deal that happened over the course of time, and you had Steven Delisle changing hands multiple times. Either way you look at it, the NHL transaction history shows 2 deals by the New York Rangers involving Steven Delisle, so I'm going to say these 2 deals are connected. So yeah, I hope you found this as interesting as I did. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the matter. I plan to do more of these in the future, but for now, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, have a great day, and I will see you again soon.